Lightning's back.
Hello to all, welcome back into the channel for this week's review of Black Lightning Season 4 Episode 6, which is also Chapter 2 of the Book of Ruin, titled Theseus' Ship. Now, if you are new to the channel, please be advised we deal heavily in spoilers as we discuss the events of each and every episode. And so, I'm pretty sure the events of this episode and all its various plot threads that we got this week will serve as a catalyst for the show moving forward, more so than any other episode that we've seen thus far. So much so that I'm almost ready to make key predictions moving forward just based on this episode alone. But in any case, we're going to begin right where the show started, as it begins to unravel the implications of the shock, not only of those around her, but Jen herself realizing that she's not quite who she was before. Now in philosophy, this is what is called an existential crisis, which of course is the basis for the title of this episode. But trust me on this, I don't write shows of anything of that nature. I'm not here to pick bones about this philosophical concept. However, when this same philosophical issue was introduced in WandaVision, it was appropriate because both visions were, in essence, well, completely synthetic. But when it comes to Jen, her philosophical problem falls more in the line of the mind-body problem.
I request elaboration.
Now, when I was first presented with this dilemma, the one movie I did find that encapsulated this concept was the 2015 movie Selfless, starring Ryan Reynolds. And I advise, if nothing else, just read up on the synopsis. Now, the reason why I reference Selfless and how it's different from the concept of Theseus, which, by the way, if you didn't quite know, involves a hypothetical, albeit historical, ship, which is replaced plank by plank throughout the years, which begs the question, how could it be the same ship? Now, while these two concepts are the same when it comes to the problem of identity, they part ways in one critical detail. While the ship of Theseus is an identity paradox, it still doesn't have memories. While Jen, on the other hand, has lived life as two people at this point, with the same memories. But come to think of it, when it comes to Selfless, the two scenarios are flipped. In the movie Selfless, there were two people inhabiting the same body, whereas in Black Lightning, there are two physical Jens with one mind. But in any case, you get the idea of these differences if I haven't already thoroughly confused you. And given the fact that Gambi does tell Lynn that genetically, this is indeed Jen. And also, as we later find out in the episode, due to some coaxing by TC, which he later on regrets. This version of Jen, though appearance-wise, definitely not the same. Still acts the same way that the old Jen would. Seeing her interactions with Jefferson as well as Anissa, and also what she does towards the end of this episode, it does put you in the mind of the old Jen. Which brings us to the part in this review where we discuss Jefferson's decisions. Oh, wow. Now, I believe it was in my 4th episode review, I was kind of concerned about Jefferson's reaction to Jen's implosion. But despite all of the others, he became more so a grounding rod for her return, letting them and us, the audience, know that Jen was still alive. But as we well know, in this episode, he did a complete 180, literally upon seeing Jen's new form. Now, also in a few episodes back, he suggested that Lynn go undercover to get more information as to what Tobias might be planning. And in this episode, actually suggests that Lynn go back to shooting up her meta boosters.
I can't do this anymore.
Now, to view this moment with a grain of salt, I think the writers of the show are trying to give us a complex hero, or maybe something closer to a anti-hero, if you will. Perhaps in an effort to try to break up the monotony of a goody two-shoes good guy. You know, something more in line with the sensibilities of the day. Now, while we have seen the integration of more complexity into our villains in today's cinema versus the past, the show could be setting us up for a entanglement with Tobias, and I'm telling you, I think they're gonna tease some kind of love triangle. Which brings me to Gambi. In prior episodes, I did mention the color scheme in regards to how Lauren was being lit in her scenes. If she does have ulterior motives, it doesn't seem to be clear yet based on her interactions with Gambi. Now, one could argue that to get her retinal scanned could be for a good cause to save those in Freeland. But based on how much Gambi is dipping into the cookie jar, so to speak, all the while playing Lauren. Now mind you, again, I don't know if she has anything up her sleeves, but it's just a matter of time of which one will be exposed first. Okay, so this is not the first time Tobias Whale has tried to run for mayor in Freeland, but if there's any season that he'll achieve it in, I believe it's going to be this one. Now, in one of my earliest reviews of this season, I knew Tobias Whale was going to move in on the gains. And yes, Destiny, he is coming for you soon. But the way in which he took out the mayor, that was pretty clever. Now, the show does try a sleight of hand when it tries to frame Val for it, but we all know it's red, because we saw him using coins as projectiles at the wall with his meta powers in a previous episode. Now, in one of the most exciting developments of this show, Destiny sent a meta assassin at Lala by the name of Ishmael, who ended up putting Lala in a predicament I think we've never seen before in pop culture. After doing just a little bit of digging, I came across some information that if you're a comic book reader, is a huge turn of events. Now, Ishmael just happens to be one of the few individuals who survived the Lazarus Pit, of course of Ra's al Ghul of the Arrow universe, which makes him a huge player moving forward. And it's only a matter of time before he gets one of the Pierces, I'm just gonna say it now. And finally, along with Grace and Anissa finding their way within their relationship, I was really impressed in the way that they handled the importance of Black Lightning in Freeland, and the way that they rewound time to show what happened if he didn't intervene. And the no-knock warrant was very reminiscent of Breonna Taylor, which in this episode was handled very, very well. Well, that just about covers everything in this review. Stay tuned in the Content Meta for more reviews like this. Congratulations to Isaiah, the winner of the $25 gift card. Now be advised, we will be doing a giveaway at least once a month, albeit next time maybe through the most likes on the video, who knows. Again, hit that like button if you stayed this far. Thanks so much for watching, and until then, see you then.